welcome to my space here. I am going to be doing the extended reading for my Tarot Tuesday weekly guidance for the week of September 15th through the 21st. But whenever you find this or whenever you come across it, just trust that these messages are meant for you. I intend for it to be for this week, but if you come across this at any time, just know that it is meant for you. So trust and receive. And I like to remind you that gender does not apply here. So sometimes I use like he or she for like masculine and feminine purposes, but it's important to remember that we all have masculine and feminine energies within ourselves. And so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into the reading. So if you are here because you read the blog, then thank you for reading the blog. But if not, then still thank you for being here. But we have the collective guidance for this week. I pulled Strength. So this card is Astra. It's represented by the astrological sign of Leo. So Leo might be a message for you. You might be a Leo, or someone you're connecting with might be a Leo. Or you just might have a lot of Leo energy within you. And right away I picked up on the solar plexus chakra and Archangel Chamuel. So he governs the solar plexus chakra, which is also associated with the color yellow. And it's all about our inner strength. It's all about like confidence and empowerment and courage and bravery and like making decisions for ourselves from a sense of our own values. So that was kind of what I was picking up on, is like our values might be shifting, and learning how to prioritize what we do want over like people pleasing or doing what other people want us to do, or what society thinks we should be doing, or what our parents think we should be doing, and really listening to the voice of our soul. Because to clarify that, I pulled Starseed. So some of you may resonate with the term starseed, some of you may be a starseed. It's a group of souls, in my opinion, from what I've channeled, because I resonate really strongly with starseeds. For me, and what I was kind of picking up with this message, is that starseeds are planted into sometimes very difficult situations. Like you may have been born into families that have a really dark energy, or a lot of heavy ancestral like trauma, or like poverty, because I was picking up with poverty with this card, because it's our sense of like I said, our sense of value. And if we have a really low sense of self-worth and we don't believe we're worthy, then we might struggle with finances, we might struggle with abusive relationships or toxic relationships, or we might get in relationships with narcissists or people that put us down. Because I was picking up on like bullying in childhood. Like this could come from our parents or from school, and this can really take a toll on our center, and believing that we're worthy and that we're, deserving of like good things and of the things that we want. And the Starseed card also is in reference to taking the time to be in the silence, to be in the quiet, to deeply connect with your soul. So doing activities that really ignite your soul and that make you feel connected. Because a lot of us, maybe if we grew up in these homes where we weren't really respected, then we might feel this sense of like loneliness or this sense of disconnection. And what we're really learning to do is reunite with our light, to reunite with our soul, to reunite with this part of us that is eternal. And a lot of us think of a star that shines, and we can only see stars when it's completely dark out. So like I was saying, you might have been planted into homes with a lot of negative energy, but you have a very radiant soul. And you literally chose this lifetime to incarnate into really difficult, challenging circumstances as a way to enhance your light, as a way to create contrast in your life, right? Because I was picking up on this energy of balancing our light and our dark energies, because the Strength card is really about taming the beast. And that beast can be represented by our ego and all the things that drive us unconsciously. And really you see the beautiful woman on this card who's kind of like petting this lion, this beast. She's taming it. And there's like an infinity symbol, so that might be a sign for you. She's like being gentle with it. So when we have thoughts of negativity or thoughts of unworthiness or judgments towards ourselves, or we're like riddled with doubt and fears and insecurities, and we're just not feeling good, and we're feeling this sense of lack, like that we're not good enough, what we have to do is learn how to tame those voices, because this is the voices that we learn from our upbringing or from our childhood or from our society, is that we're not good enough, that we have to fill this void within ourselves with all these external things. And so we're endlessly searching to feel this feeling of worthiness, of goodness, of wholeness. and we're searching for it in all the wrong things. Like, we're searching for it like by striving. Some of you may be perfectionists and you're striving for this in success in the external world, and I must succeed, and this stems from this place of like, feeling like you're not good enough, and like trying to, but what we're really learning how to do, because not only was I picking up on Archangel Chamuel, but also Archangel Raphael, who is the angel of compassion and self-acceptance and self-love, and he teaches us how to love ourselves unconditionally, and to love our darkness, and to love our ego and those doubts and those insecurities just as much as we love those lighter attributes of ourselves. And so I was kind of picking up on this energy. You might be stuck in these like circumstances that seem to keep you bound or keep you trapped in some way, but the Starseed card helps us connect with our divinity, to our highest self. It helps us rise out of our environment and to see ourselves as like our angels would see us, to see ourselves as our guides would see us, or as the divine would see us. And this helps us learn how to love ourselves unconditionally, because the divine accepts us for who we are. Every time we make a choice that doesn't align with our highest self, it forgives, and we get an opportunity to try again the next moment. And to this is a card of being more present and getting really quiet, to stop looking to the outside for the answers and to go within. Starseeds are very creative, in my opinion, whether it be through music, through dance, through writing, through singing, through all different outlets, like painting. They're just very creative, and they were born into these really challenging or hard circumstances as a way to create. So it's like when we can use our darkness to create rather than to become a victim of it, or to be bound by it, or to be trapped by it, then we alchemize it, we transmute it, and we shine light on the darkness. And when we shine our light, it casts out all darkness, right? So you may have fears of being seen or fears of being heard because you weren't accepted as a child, and maybe your uniqueness or your creative ideas were not accepted. And so what you have to really learn to do with this, to me, is what it's saying. It's like celebrate yourself, like validate yourself, recognize yourself. Sometimes it can be so hard because we get caught up in how far we have to go yet, or we can forget how far we have come and all the challenges we've surmounted and all the things we've surpassed, like all the things we've been through, and being present. Like, look at how awesome we are here and now. Like, look how strong we are. So this is saying to me, focus on your strengths, focus on your victories, focus on your successes, and as you do that, it gives you the motivation, it gives you the strength to keep moving forward, because we're going to experience challenges, and what I was picking up on is any challenges you're seeming to face right now, if you can shift your perspective, then you can see that it's teaching you how to become stronger. It's teaching you how to connect with your light again. It's teaching you how to be a leader, or how to be a boss, or how to to become super successful, if that's what you're wanting, or like, and it's okay to have desires, it's okay to have goals, definitely, but it's also important to be present to all that you have now, because as soon as we start seeking outside of ourselves for this sense of validation, for this sense of victory or success, and that's as soon as we give our power away, right? And the strength card is about really owning your power, standing in your strength. So you may need to connect to your inner strength this week. You can do physical activities that help you feel strong, like yoga, or going for a run, or lifting weights, or whatever it is for you. Like, whatever makes you feel strong, try to do that and focus on your inner strength this week and build yourself up. Because I was picking up on, like I was saying, bullying or being put down. You might have grown up with narcissistic parents, or you might be in narcissistic relationships where you were just constantly put down and nobody taught you how to build yourself up. But that's where we have to learn to take responsibility and learn how to build ourselves up with how we speak to ourselves, with how we choose to take care of ourselves in the physical world, with how we choose to take care of ourselves during our most challenging times, and to really be that, compassionate, loving person for ourselves when we're feeling not so good. We have to accept when we're grieving. We have to accept when we're angry. We have to accept when, we're feeling this sense of, not enough, and we just have to see that that's our shadow self. And our shadow self is always going to feel that way. But how can we learn how to, be compassionate towards ourselves when we're stuck in those emotions? So you're definitely not stuck. There's a lot of people feeling this energy of this is a card of I was just feeling this energy of feeling like entrapment, or feeling like you're stuck in some way. And Archangel Chamuel was just here to remind us that you're never bound, you're never trapped. You have the power to shift your destiny at any time by making new decisions. And the only way that we can create a new like reality or create new outcomes is by doing something different. And I think the difference is listening to our soul rather than listening to our ego. And we have to get really clear, and the only way we can discern ego from soul is by being quiet, is by being present, is by getting into the silence. So stop seeking the answers outside of yourself and go within this week and really tame your beast. Tame that beast within you. Love your beast. Give it so much unconditional love so that you create this inner balance within yourself. So the only thing that we have control over is our perception. So if you're feeling like you're stuck in any situation, try shifting your perspective, and then as you feel free, because I was picking up on the energy of the unicorns, the spirit of the unicorns are with us this week to help us free ourselves, to see beyond the limitations, to connect to our innocence, to think outside the box, to do things differently or weird. You might feel like you're weird, or you might feel like you're different, or you may have struggled like feeling like you were different your whole entire life, and that's okay. You were meant to be different. You were meant to be different, I promise. And it can be scary because our society doesn't teach us that. It teaches us to conform and to do things to obey, and a lot of us are breaking through this authoritarian, a lot of us may have grown up with authoritarian parents that taught us to do, my dad's favorite saying, do as I say, not as I do. And that's complete bullshit, because as children, we're observers. We're in a complete state of receptivity. And so we're not listening to our parents necessarily. We're watching them. We're observing them, and we do what they do, We don't just do what they tell us to do. And so we may have been told to dress a certain way, or to speak a certain way, or to behave a certain way in public, or to put on this facade for other people, in order to be seen in a certain light, and this is like saying, no, let your freak flag fly, let yourself be truly seen for who you are, because you will not be abandoned. When you begin to, you might lose connections, but they're not going to be authentic connections. If you lose anyone by becoming true to your soul, they were never meant to be in your life anyway. So, they were meant to be in your life to teach you really valuable lessons. And when you become authentic to who you are, your friends are going to change. The people you are going to want to be around are going to change, because your values are changing. You're not going to, if you're feeling really good about yourself, you're not going to want to be around people that feel like shit about themselves or that try to bring you down. You're going to want to be around people that uplift you, that encourage you, that motivate you, that love you and inspire you. So in that time when we're letting go of people that aren't serving us anymore, we're letting go of environments or things that don't serve us anymore, we're going to feel this sense of isolation. And in that isolation is when you get the opportunity and you get the chance to go into the unknown, which is also kind of known as the quantum field. And when you go into this unknown space, you get the opportunity to create. So that's what I was picking up on. The divine is giving you an opportunity to create. And like I said, a lot of starseeds are creative. So how can you take what you've been given and kind of create something beautiful out of it, and create something for yourself out of it, and completely change and free yourself from any limiting situation that you're in. So that's what we need to know this week. A lot of information coming through, so please take what resonates and make sure you listen to your intuition above all else. And if you have not read the blog, you might want to check that out. I'll leave the link below. There's probably more messages in there for you. So let's go ahead and move now to what we're not seeing clearly this week. And the colors purple and yellow might be significant for you. The number 8 might be significant for you. Alright, Spirit. What are we not seeing clearly this week? Okay, interesting. We have the Two of Wands. But this makes sense because this is about decision making, in my opinion. It's about he's kind of holding the world in his hands here, and he's kind of looking out, setting out. It's kind of like the Three of Wands is the decision has been made. So the Two of Wands is a decision needs to be made. So you may need to. I always see this card as a card of being in service. How can you be of service? And I love that with the Starseed and being creative, because it's how can you, if you maybe grew up in different circumstances or whatever it is for you, you can use your darkness to be of service, when you begin to get creative with your circumstances, or if you can teach or you can lead or you can be of service, and somehow through what you're going through right now or through what's challenging you, if you can teach people how to, if you can teach or you can create something from the circumstances that you're in, then you're being of service. But let's get one more there. What else with the Two of Wands there, Spirit, that we're not seeing clearly? Okay, very interesting. We have the King of Cups. So this is a card of being like emotionally balanced, in my opinion. It's a card of, the King of Cups, he harbors a lot of emotion, so you might have a lot of feelings, and like learning how to channel your feelings into creativity is a really great way to stay emotionally balanced, because we can all, there's this energy of feeling stuck this week. So I'm picking up on this energy of like, you're not actually stuck. What's stuck are your emotions. Like, you might have feelings, like, because this is like the most romantic king, in my opinion. It's the King of Love. So you might have a lot of deep feelings of love, but you're not expressing them. And if we don't express love and we don't give love, then we're not going to receive love back. So we might feel stuck and the only thing that's actually stuck are our emotions. So if you begin to feel your emotions and maybe use your emotions to be of service, like, I don't know, I like to write, but I like to also channel my emotions through dance or through some sort of movement. You could do, there's all different ways that you can be of service with your emotions. But that's kind of like the energy I'm getting with the King of Cups. This could represent water signs, so Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And I'm just kind of getting this energy of like feeling very loving within yourself. And maybe you're learning how to become more emotionally balanced. Maybe you were taught to be like emotionally unstable, or maybe nobody taught you how to love yourself or care for yourself. And so this is an energy of really learning how to stay more balanced. There's a boat on here, and there's a fish. So you might just connect with water. You might need to drink more water, or you may need to connect with the water, like taking salt baths. This will help you to clear your energy. And actually, if you think about water, it's our emotions, right? And I was feeling this energy of like your emotions are stuck. And so if you're not allowing yourself to express your love or feel your love, then you're going to become very like stagnant and stuck and kind of feel like a victim. And it is Virgo season right now. And Virgo season, the shadow aspect of it is like victim mentality. But guess what? The lighter side of it is like teaching, nurturing, like health and wellness. So, and wellness is also included into our emotional health. A lot of people get caught up in physical health, but what we really need to do is go beyond the surface. And I feel this energy of like you have a lot of ocean, there's like an ocean of emotion within you, but you don't know how to express this. And this could be related to men, because there's both men on both of these cards. So you might know men that are like very, distant, or they don't express their love very often, or, this is just saying that, and a lot of men from our society have not been taught how to express their feelings because they've been taught that it makes them weak, But there's this sense of like learning how to become more vulnerable. And as we can become more vulnerable, we become more open, and then we surrender and we flow, and we don't feel that stuck energy anymore. So there's this energy of really learning how to balance your emotions. And look, even on this card, it's balanced. It's a 2 card. So I just feel like there's this energy of really needing to find this balance within yourself, especially emotionally, and allowing your emotions to come and go in waves. Like, don't get so caught up into them. So what happens is we begin to like identify with our emotions, and we think just because we're feeling sad right now that we're going to be stuck there forever. So instead of feeling it and allowing ourselves to cry and express our emotions, then we deny it and we run away from it. And then when that happens, we feel stuck, But when we begin to feel our emotions, and we take that maybe 5 or 10 minutes or maybe even a half an hour to cry and to let our emotions out, then we can move on about our day, and sure, you can move about your day and still not feel your emotions, but you're going to feel this sense of like ickiness, and you're going to want to distract yourself with, the ego, and you're going to want to do what the ego says. The ego is going to tell you, maybe because you repressed your emotions and you didn't allow yourself to cry, your ego tells you, to comfort yourself with food, or to comfort yourself with alcohol or sex, or, drugs or whatever, And so when we can begin to feel those emotions, then our ego then we don't have to become a slave to the ego. So we have to begin to watch when we're a slave to the ego, because we're denying emotions. So when we can become more conscious of our emotions and feel our emotions, then the ego doesn't try to like boss us around so much, and then we are more in control of how we feel, right? And that's the point of attraction. So you have to get the feelings in alignment with what you want and what you desire with your intention. So if you're not feeling very loving, then how can you feel more loving? Like, what can you do to love yourself more, to give yourself more unconditional love, and so that you can give that love to others, So that's very interesting there. Let's get an oracle card for those two. What are we not seeing clearly with the King of Cups and the Two of Wands? Yeah, very interesting. That's so funny. This was just literally underneath the deck after I pulled the cards for the day. So innocence, I love this energy of innocence. And I was speaking about the spirit of the unicorns, and they kind of teach us how to come back to our innocence. And, think about a child and our innocence. When we feel emotions, we just let them out. If we're feeling frustrated, we have a tantrum, and so we have to witness ourselves when we're feeling very emotional. How can we care for ourselves in those times? Instead of denying our emotions, we can see, oh, you're angry and you're upset. How can you channel and release these emotions so that they don't stay inside of you and you feel stuck, and then you have to rely on your addiction in order to make yourself feel better, So how can you be more playful? How can, like I said, when I'm feeling energies of maybe anger, and I want to feel more energies of passion, then what I have to do is okay, I'll dance usually, or I'll stomp my feet, or, and really learning how to take action on your emotions rather than just ignore them and pretend they don't exist. We have to really get in tune to them. And that's, in crying, I was speaking about that, and children cry, right? And that's how we regulate our nervous system. So instead of seeing crying as this weakness, especially for men, see this crying as, this is how I regulate myself. This is how I soothe myself. There's this energy of needing to self-soothe. And how can you self-soothe in a healthy way rather than going to your addictions or your coping mechanisms like mine? I used to soothe myself with food. Sometimes I still do, but I don't beat myself up for it because I know it's a learned behavior. I just choose to make more decisions from a more conscious place, and I choose to, go for different kinds of foods. I just replace those unhealthy eating habits with, healthier eating habits. And that's how you really learn how to take care of your inner child. And maybe there's this message here of learning how to take care of your inner child and how to regulate your emotions. And a lot of parents, they don't regulate their own emotions. So when their kid has a tantrum, it triggers their own unconscious wounding. And instead of soothing the child, instead of comforting the child, they kind of push it away because they've been told that tantrum that they once had was bad, and that they weren't loved in that moment when they were having a tantrum, or when they were angry, or when they were frustrated, or they were sad. And so they deny this to their child as well. So that's just another example of conscious parenting, and really learning how can we soothe ourselves in our most, if you're facing any challenging circumstances and you're feeling any grief or you're feeling any lower based emotions, how can you, give yourself that love and treat yourself like a divine child, and reparent yourself so that you feel, strong. We have the strength card here, and I was talking about putting yourself down. A lot of us, when we cry or when we're angry or when we're sad, and we tend to put ourselves down in those moments. Instead of, in those moments, what we have to learn to do is to build ourselves up and tell ourselves, talk to ourselves kindly, tell ourselves it's all going to be okay, everything's going to be all right, all is well, things are going to keep getting better for me, I am okay, I am strong, I am valuable, I am worthy, I am confident, I am powerful, repeating to yourself kind affirmations, but also getting some kind of movement in there. You can't just repeat the positive affirmations and expect things to change. You have to take action from this place of, I am strong, and how can you make decisions from this inner strength rather than from this energy of being stuck. Try to make decisions, because we have this Two of Wands, which is about making decisions. Try to make decisions, and the King of Cups is about love. So how can you make decisions more based in love rather than from, this sense of lack or this sense of fear, rather, or this sense of people pleasing, which came up in the very beginning. So learning how to make decisions from this place of your deep inner knowing, from your deep heart, and from your own innocence, right? Our innocence is the part of us that is, innately connected to the divine. It's our emotions as well. It's the inner child is our emotional body, and when we get back in tune to our emotions, then we, recover different memories about who we are, and then we can align more with who we truly are, and we can express that. Our emotions are meant to be expressed, our soul is meant to be expressed. But like I said, a lot of us make decisions to please other people or to get something in return, rather than making decisions based from this place of inner knowing, from this place of from unconditional love for the self. So that's what I'm getting there. That's what we're not seeing clearly. All right, lastly, and I'm picking up on a lot of energy, stuck energy in the sacral chakra, which is related perfectly to our creativity, to our abundance, to our joy, to our vitality, which is totally our innocent energy. And a lot of us have been victimized in the sacral chakra. So think of sexual abuse, molestation. If you experience any of kind of those things, like that can keep us stuck in victim mentality, and it can keep us from connecting to that innocence within us, from that sense of joy, from that sense of vitality that really is our authentic expression of who we are before the world taught us who to be or how to behave, right? And coming back to this state of complete acceptance for who we are. And when we're in our innocence, we're not worried about judgments of other people. We're not worried about the past. We're not worried about the future. We are present. We are here and now. And how can we make decisions from the here and now and from presence rather than from like fear or lack or scarcity or from like not enough? All right, and lastly, we're going to get the advice for the week. What is your advice for us this week, Spirit? Lots of messages coming through here, which is always a good thing. What is your advice for us? Okay, Four of Cups. I just did a reading recently and this card came up, and this is an energy of boredom, which is also related to this innocence card in my opinion, and the sacral chakra. And it's another card of cups, so it's the emotions. And you see on this card, Spirit is giving him this cup, and he's got his arms crossed, and he's like, no, I don't want what you have to give me. He's like very ungrateful about what Spirit is giving him. It's like not what he wants. And so this can cause us to be like, we can pout. Think of like a kid, like a pouty little kid, like no, and this is saying like, we're giving you this gift if you can see it from a different perspective, if you can let go of, how things are supposed to look. A lot of us have these expectations, and expectations are going to lead to disappointments. So it's really important. Think of kids. They're very open-minded. They don't get too attached to how things go. In Virgo season right now, Virgo is very detail-oriented. And so it likes to plan, it likes to, it's very analytical. And so a lot of times we can get caught up in our minds, and we have this picture and this idea of what things are supposed to look like or what we want. And then it falls short of what actually is here and now. And then we can get this sense of like boredom, or like the Four of Cups is like, oh, I'm missing an opportunity, or there's like, it's this energy of like something is missing from my life. And Spirit is saying, no, nothing is missing. We're giving you an opportunity right here and right now, but you're not receptive to it. He's not receptive to the cup at all. He's blocking it off. There's some kind of blockage that you might be. What else here though? What else with the Four of Cups, Spirit? Okay, yes, Wheel of Fortune. So this is very interesting. This is like a card of change. This is a card of things moving in a new direction. I always really like the Wheel of Fortune card. I'm hearing this is a fortunate time. So rather than focusing on maybe what isn't happening in your external environment, or what's not, what you don't have, this is saying to focus on, the changes that are occurring within you. Like, take time to, and like there's this energy of wanting to rush things, but this is saying like, and they're even on, all of them have books on this card for some reason. So you might be drawn to books as a way to help you, that might just have information that you need right now. So if you feel intuitively drawn to any sort of books or any sort of knowledge or information, when you're bored, you can use it as a time to educate yourself. You can use it because this is a card of boredom in my opinion. You can use it as a time to, really get to know yourself. And, I like to study, I do like books and stuff. I don't necessarily like to study in the external world, but I love to study myself, to study my own behaviors, to study my own thought patterns, to study my emotions. And as I do this, I get a better understanding of who I am, which helps me to, make decisions. Because when we make new decisions, we align, we change our destiny. This is a card of changing your destiny. So in this boredom, or in this time of like nothing's happening, use it as a way to create the changes that you do want by, taking action. So if you're feeling like anything's like missing in your life, it's an opportunity to, in my opinion, to get creative, to see, okay, where can I make, and we even have the decisions, where can I make new decisions that help me move forward? And to me, the Wheel of Fortune card is, a card of moving forward. It could be a card of travel. It could be a card of, just like things changing, and you might be, a lot of us fear change because it's uncertain. But like I was talking about the quantum field, when we can project our hope and we can project our, our success and our victories onto the quantum field, onto the unknown, rather than when we're sitting in the unknown and we're frightened and we're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where my life is going. And you start to freak out, and then you get into these anxiety spirals, and then you get into this, I'm not good enough, or I'm not where I'm meant to be, or, maybe you start to compare yourself, or whatever the case may be, using that time to build yourself up, to create something for yourself, to align with this sense of innocence within you. And when you're bored, think about what you did when you were bored as a kid. What did you do? What did you do that past hours, and, like getting more playful, getting more, because this is kind of a card of like pessimism in my opinion, and just like melancholy. So how can you like create more, high vibrational feelings of love and compassion and connection, and, maybe even, like intimacy and all those higher vibrational feelings of like, and gratitude. How can you be more grateful? Because he's just not grateful at all for this Four of Cups. He's like, no, I don't want what you're giving me. And this is saying, well, how can you be more grateful? And I think that that's what will bring change. It's like being more grateful for where you're at, what you have, and who you are. All right, let's get a clarifier there, though. What's your advice for us? Rejuvenation. Okay, so I like this because the Four of Cups can kind of be like this. He's even sitting underneath a tree here. He's out in nature. So there's this energy of needing to, and create more like rejuvenation, to create more things that make you feel, relaxed and alive, and that make you feel at peace. There's this energy of like needing to be at peace. You may think that like things have to constantly be going, or constantly be moving, or you have to constantly be doing things, because our society is just a very yang oriented society, and so we're always doing. But maybe this time is giving you an opportunity to like sit still, because that's what we need to do in order to tame our ego, is to sit still. And a lot of us hate sitting still. We're not taught to sit still very well, and it's just like, and taming the ego is a lot like taming your inner child. It's like about making your child sit there and be like, you need to sit still, you need to you need to take a time out. That's what I hear. So take a time out, and I feel like as you take this time out to like recenter yourself, because we have the King of Cups, which is this energy of like feeling really balanced within yourself, especially emotionally. And you begin to feel these higher vibrational emotions of love and peace and connection and acceptance and joy and gratitude. They really bring you a sense of rejuvenation. And they give you that vitality, like I was talking about. They give you that joy, and that is what helps you move forward. And we did have the Wheel of Fortune, so there is this energy of needing to move forward. But in order to move forward, we have to feel full of energy, right? And how do we create energy? Well, we, get into our emotions, and we can create energies with our point of attraction, with our point of focus. So if we want to feel energies of peace, and we want to feel energies of acceptance, then that's the intention we're placing our focus on. And then we have to do things that make us feel at peace. We have to do things that make us feel accepted, that make us feel loved. So that's what I'm kind of picking up there. That's the advice, is to kind of allow yourself to relax, to take a step back, to take a chill pill, and allow yourself to just be. Can you learn how to just be and accept everything? You don't need things. You definitely don't. It's just something we've been taught through our society, is that we constantly have to be stimulating ourselves. Think about technology. We're constantly on social media. We're constantly comparing ourselves to other people. We're constantly viewing other people's things and other people's lives. But how often do we stop, get quiet, and say, what do I want? What do I need right now? What does my body need? Does it need more rest? Does it need more water? Does it need more affection? Does it need more, nourishment? What does my body need? And creating that well-being for yourself really allows for you to, be at peace with who you are, but also move forward to be, the best version of yourself, to be even further along of where you want to be. But you have to be at peace with where you are now in order to keep moving forward. Otherwise, you're going to feel this energy of stuckness that I have felt also as well. So allow yourself to process your emotions. Remember, just because sad does not equal bad, I promise you. So if you have a lot of like lower based emotions, if you're angry, if you're sad, if you're frustrated, those aren't bad energies. They're just your inner child is acting out. So how can you be more playful? So how can you dance when you're angry or frustrated, or go for a run. Like, what does your inner child need, and start giving it to yourself. Because we have to, like I said, our inner child is our emotional body. So when we tend to our emotions and we do things that make us feel good, then it gives us this sense of empowerment. It gives us this sense of strength, and then we can, continue to move forward rather than stay stuck. All right, so let's get one overall message for chakra insights, and then I'll end it. What is the overall message for us today, Spirit? Or this week, I should say. Okay, interesting. We have possessions. Number 7, it says belongings, finances, assets, treasures. This is associated with the root chakra. I'll read this one to you. Enjoy the pleasures of a balanced material life. Cultivate, honor, organize, and share. It is said that we are spiritual beings living in a physical world. Part of living in this world is coming into right relations with the material realm, while recognizing the source of all creation. While we know that money and possessions alone can't sustain our happiness, we also know that our consistent denial of material needs can bring great stress into our lives. This card is a call for you to cultivate a balanced relationship with the material plane. Organize your finances, take stock of your possessions, gain awareness of the balance of money and other physical energy coming into your life on a daily basis, and that which is going out. Are the scales of your material world balanced, or are they heavily weighed to one side? Perhaps you spend carelessly or have a tendency to gather, hoard, and collect that which you do not really need. Or maybe you are denying yourself from claiming or receiving some of the material comforts that truly nurture and support your well-being. It is time to evaluate your possessions, to honor what is precious to you and that which matters most, and to let go of any unnecessary attachment or hold that certain items may have on you. Consider what items genuinely add value to your life, and which ones are just filling space or creating clutter, perhaps blocking what you truly desire from coming in. Now may be a time for a good spring clean, clearing a space in your life for the inflow of life's true treasures. It's not about giving away all your possessions as they are an expression of who you are. Rather, it's about letting go of the dependency, the strong need to have them to feel good or to define who you are. Give thanks for the cherished possessions that you currently have, and if you have a need for others, welcome them in, giving deep thanks for their forthcoming arrival into your life. Know that you are worthy of a prosperous, balanced life. We are temporary visitors to this earthly plane, so let go of unnecessary greed for wealth and accumulation of possessions. Instead, celebrate this call to enjoy the temporary pleasures of a balanced material life. Cultivate, honor, and share what you have with others. I love that, and that was totally like the Two of Wands, and, cultivate, honor, and share what you have with others. This is a card of, like, being of service, in my opinion. So, share your love with others. Share your strength and your innocence and your happiness with others, and this will make, this will help balance your spiritual and material life, and you'll begin to receive more things that make you feel, in alignment, that make you feel good, that make you feel, balanced and strong. So I hope this was helpful for you. I hope it was healing for you. If you'd like to book a private reading, you can definitely find the information for that below. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'm sending you so much love. Take care.